behaviors. And if they appear in someone close to you, let them be what they are. Prove. When you bring up how you feel, the conversation suddenly flips. You're overreacting. You're too sensitive. You're always starting something. It's not that they don't care. It's that they won't care. Let me tell you something. It's not your job to convince someone to care. To chase, to beg, to prove your worth to someone who's blind to it. The people who care will never put you in a position to doubt it. Walk away with grace, not bitterness. Because dignity doesn't shout. It walks in silence, and it never looks back. You don't need someone to tell you they love you every day. You need them to show up, to choose you, to make you feel safe in their presence. When someone stops trying, stops calling, stops checking in, stops caring about how their actions affect you, that silence becomes deafening. Words are easy. They can be sweet, poetic, even convincing. But effort is real. It's visible. It's felt. And when it disappears, no explanation is needed. Love without effort is just noise. And deep down, you always know when someone is just going through the motions. It's in their lateness, their forgetfulness, their indifference. And that quiet neglect speaks louder than any apology ever could. When you're hurting, when life feels heavy and you reach out with trembling hands, what meets you matters. If it's silence, that silence isn't neutral. It's a choice. A loud, resounding choice to not show up. In your most vulnerable moments, true care leans in, not away. And when someone you count on offers nothing, not a word, not a presence, not even acknowledgement, they just need to be there, to witness, to hold space. And when they vanish in your need, they tell you everything you didn't want to believe. That their love has limits, that their loyalty is conditional, that their care disappears when it's inconvenient. And that kind of silence, that's not just absence. It's betrayal dressed in quiet. Love isn't supposed to feel like a riddle you can't solve. When someone truly cares, you don't spend your nights replaying their words, decoding their silences, or wondering if you're asking for too much. The presence of doubt isn't a sign of your insecurity. It's often your intuition whispering that something isn't right. Real connection brings clarity, not confusion. It settles you, grounds you, gives you peace. But when you're constantly second-guessing where you stand, it's because they're not standing beside you. Doubt doesn't appear without reason. And if you keep needing to convince yourself that they mean well, that they'll change, that you're just overthinking, it's because your heart already knows. Their actions don't match their words, and that quiet knowing is your answer. Love is meant to uplift, to nourish, to give you room to breathe and become more of yourself, not less. If being with someone feels like a constant weight on your chest, if you're always exhausted, anxious, or on edge, then that isn't love. It's emotional survival. True love doesn't leave you questioning your worth or begging for scraps of affection. It doesn't demand that you shrink, overextend, or lose yourself just to keep the peace. When love starts to feel like labor, when giving becomes one-sided, and when your well runs dry trying to fill theirs, that's not connection. That's depletion. Love isn't supposed to cost you your peace. Real love restores you. And anything that leaves you empty isn't love. It's a lesson. There's a sharpness to silence, a cruelty in being ignored, that cuts deeper than any argument ever could. Anger still shows emotion. Disagreement still shows investment. But indifference? That's cold. That's the absence of care. The refusal to even acknowledge your presence or your pain. It says, you don't matter enough for a reaction. And that kind of dismissal is not just rejection. It's erasure. It leaves you talking to a wall, waiting for a response that will never come, slowly realizing that your voice, your feelings, your very existence in their world has been muted. That's what makes it so violent. It doesn't yell, it doesn't slam doors. It just disappears. And in that quiet void, you're left to feel like you were never seen in the first place. When someone truly cares, their actions align with their words, reliably, steadily, without the need for guessing. You don't have to chase clarity, because their presence speaks for itself. That's the power of consistency. It builds trust, it settles the mind, it feels safe. But when you're constantly left confused, one day warm, the next cold, promises made, then forgotten, affection given, then withdrawn, that's not love. That's manipulation. Confusion is the fog they create to keep control, to keep you unsure, to keep you trying harder while they do less. Real love isn't a puzzle. It's not supposed to leave you analyzing every text, every look, every silence. When someone shows up consistently, that's truth. When they don't, that's your warning. People don't hide their truth for long. In subtle gestures, in offhand comments, in how they treat others when no one's watching, they reveal themselves. But often, we don't want to see it. We excuse the red flags, justify the disrespect, romanticize the potential instead of accepting the reality. Yet the truth is always there, quietly woven into their patterns. When someone disrespects a boundary, dismisses your feelings, there's nothing wrong with your heart, your depth, or the way you feel things deeply. The problem isn't that you're too much, is that you keep handing your love to someone who doesn't know what to do with it. Some people are incapable of meeting you where you are, not because you're unlovable, but because they are emotionally unavailable, distracted, or simply unwilling. And instead of recognizing that, you begin to shrink yourself, overthink everything, and question your worth. But hear this clearly. Your ability to give love isn't the issue. Their inability to receive it is. Stop trying to unlock hearts that have no intention of opening. You are not the problem. You're just pouring love into a cup that refuses to hold it. We often equate leaving with failure, as if walking away means giving up on something or someone we once valued. But the truth is, walking away can be one of the most powerful decisions you make. It takes strength to step away from situations, relationships, or environments that are diminishing your worth. When you leave, you are not abandoning anything. You're choosing to protect your peace, your dignity, and your sense of self. It's an acknowledgement that you deserve more than the bare minimum, that you are no longer willing to accept disrespect, manipulation, or neglect. It's the ultimate expression of self-respect, because you are telling yourself, I am worth the love, care, and attention I give to others. Walking away is not a sign of weakness, but of courage. Courage to value yourself enough to let go of what no longer serves you.